This is Aleem from Senergy Capital. Joining us today is the CEO of USHA Resources, which trades under the ticker symbol USHA on the Venture Exchange, Mr. Deepak Varshney. Deepak, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump right into it. Deepak, for the people who may not know about USHA, can you give a brief description of the company and what the main focus is?
So we are a battery metals focused company that, our goal is to acquire early stage projects that, have very little startup costs where we can accelerate and bring value very quickly. So, to that point, we have our fingers in the lithium space, in the nickel space, in the copper space. I think electrification is the future, and it's um, important that we deliver these kind of assets in North America, where I think there's a real lack of supply coming up over the next decades, 2 decades, what have you.
I want to spend the majority of our time discussing Jackpot Lake. Deepak, I love the location, I love the jurisdictions, I love the drill-friendly climate, and I certainly love the price of lithium right now. This is a very exciting time for you guys as you recently announced that exploration has begun and drills will be turning shortly. Deepak, what are your expectations on this upcoming program, and will it get USHA to an NI 43-101?
So yes, we will be able to deliver a resource from the work in this program. I mean, it's a very exciting time. We spend a lot of time getting ready for drill programs, but once it really starts, that's when the magic happens. I think that this is a program that could be a game changer for our company, right? We have a lithium brine project here, which gives us an opportunity, as you said, to get a resource very quickly. And that really, I think, is something that ultimately you want to get to when you're acquiring a project, right? And you're working on a project. The resource, getting to a resource is the ultimate goal of any project, and then you can start developing that project further and moving towards production. And so I think this is actually going to be a huge step for us along that path.
I'm very excited to see the results. Deepak, as a professional geologist with over 10 years of experience, I have to ask you more about this exciting project. How did you find Jackpot Lake and how does it differentiate from other lithium miners in the area?
Yeah, I mean, so it was it's a funny story. So I've had this on my radar for a while, and I've been kind of nagging my buddy James at Aries about this, and we're very fortunate because he chose to pivot his company towards becoming a fluorspar producer, and so we had the opportunity then to, you know, come to him, show him the value proposition with USHA. We had a great structure. We already had cash in the bank, and we were able to, get our hands on this project at a very reasonable term. We only paid just over $1 million worth of stock, over a 12-month option to get 100%, which I think is incredibly reasonable in today's world, right? And so we're very lucky to acquire this at such great terms. This project is very different, I think, than what you typically see in North America, which is kind of funny because the only producing mine in North America is at Silver Peak. Albemarle's project there is a lithium brine project. But typically, what you see in North America, you hear about nowadays is, with PMET, for example, it's hard rock, Quebec, hard rock. Often you see, we have clay projects in northern Nevada at Thacker Pass. So this is a lithium brine project. And what that means essentially is that we're going to be investigating or exploring an underground lake, right? So we're not drilling a hard rock deposit. We are actually, what this is very similar to is, drilling into a cup of water. We're basically putting some straws into this cup of water and sucking out the water to see, how much lithium is down there. And so that's one reason why we're able to get to the resource so quickly. With the hard rock project, you of course have to drill, 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 drill. It's 20, 40, 200, what have you, holes because you have to demonstrate that continuity. But with the lithium brine project, you just really need two holes. And that's at eye level, but it's true. I mean, especially with the nature of our deposit, you're able to just drill 2 holes even, and that will give you a inferred resource. So, we're able to really accelerate development of this project by doing that, and the nature of the property.
That's very exciting. Deepak, what are the next steps to advance Jackpot Lake after this 2,700-meter drill program is complete?
Yeah, so we're going to be drilling here. We've actually gone out and we've acquired a significant amount of land around us. So we've staked a ton of claims around us to really expand this project. And so the goal would then be to do some more geophysics and essentially expand the resource, right? I think that this project has the potential for 1 million+ tons of lithium carbonate, and so really we would be moving this project forward to try to get to that. Of course, it depends on the grade, the porosity. There's a number of factors, but we'll have a significant land package here to work with, and then you really just move this forward, right? Because of the Inflation Reduction Act, it's a good spot to be in if you're on the path of production. Here in the US, you can have a project with 100 ppm of lithium. And so I think once we drill this property, we can then start moving this thing forward. We can start meeting with DLE partners to evaluate their technology. We can start going to the US government. And then we saw recently the military saying they're going to be supporting battery metal projects and really start moving this project towards production. And that's something that I think, again, very quick timeline, and because it's a lithium brine project.
Yeah, I agree. Let's switch focus a bit and talk about the share structure for the investors who are listening right now.
Yeah, so we're a very tight structure, right? I think that's really important when you're evaluating an investment. So we just have over 35 million shares out. We've done financings from the start, from 10 up to 30 cents. We've participated every step of the way. And so as a result, just over 35 million shares out, where management, insiders, our associates, key strategic shareholders we've brought on over the past 2 years, we still have over 70% of the stock owned by a group of individuals with a very long-term view of this investment. And so, that means that this has got a very small float, with a really strong group of people behind it. So great structure. And I got to point out, in our last financials, we just had just under 3 million working capital, right? So we're well capitalized too. Great structure and good cash position.
It's always encouraging to see lean share structures amongst juniors, and it really seems like you guys have ticked all the boxes here. Lastly, Deepak, I want to ask you about your outlook on the future of lithium prices. It doesn't seem like prices are coming down, and it's clear that demand keeps growing due to the EV market. Where do you see lithium prices headed going into 2023?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's crazy, right? It feels like almost every week we see a new record high, and spot pricing just keeps increasing because, there is a real demand, and there's been a real lack of projects just worldwide coming online. And I think that, that deficit just keeps growing. And as a result, I mean, I don't see any reason why prices will dramatically decrease. It's kind of funny. You look at these PEAs, some of these guys using, 12, 15, 20,000 a ton. And I think that, the lithium price has been able to sustain itself in the 70+ range for a while here. It hasn't really come down, and I just don't see any reason why it would. And so, I think, we'll pricing that we see here we'll be sticking around here for a while, until we bring projects like Jackpot online or something else where we can try to meet this demand. Because it's a simple supply demand issue, and right now there's too much demand and not enough supply.
Thank you so much for your time today, Deepak. I'm very excited for you guys and the progress you're making. For more information on USHA Resources, you can visit their website at usharesources.com or follow them on social.